Number 10. Toilet rats. Imagine stumbling to the bathroom at 3 a.m. only to find a rat staring up at you from inside that toilet seat. That's the worst thing I can think of. This terrifying encounter is one of my favorite true urban legends. Face it, at one point or another we've all heard tales of alligators in New York sewers. That one is fake. Sorry to burst your bubble, but it's way too cold for them to survive. But toilet rats, on the other hand, toilet rats are very real and closer than you think. They navigate sewage pipes attracted by nutrients in your waste and could end up just inches away from your funny business. In 1999, this happened. A rat nipped at a woman in Virginia while she was doing her normal business, and then all of a sudden, a real-life rat came out of nowhere and started nibbling. That's the worst thing that I can think of. That's an absolute nightmare. Seattle officials are now advising that if you spot a rat in your toilet, just close the lid and flush. Yeah, easy, not terrifying at all. Next time, watch where you sit in the middle of the night. Sleep in fear, folks. Number 9. Candyman. Released in 1992 and revamped in 2021, Candyman draws from a Clive Barker short story. It's a chilling tale of revenge for an artist played by Sweeny Todd, who was targeted and attacked in the late 1890s for his interracial romance. That's the story. So while summoning him from a mirror might just be horror fiction, the film's terrifying concept of an attacker coming through a medicine cabinet actually based on real-life events. How horrifying is that? In 1987, the Chicago Reader reported this tragic case of Ruth McCoy, who was unalived in her Chicago apartment after attackers entered through her medicine cabinet bathroom mirror, exploiting a design meant for plumbing access. Instead, now you got the Home Alone burglars crawling through the walls. That's so scary. Imagine seeing your medicine cabinet slowly open while you're brushing your teeth. I would probably faint. Number 8. Bunnyman. In 1970s Virginia, the eerie tale of the Bunnyman gripped locals. I mean, it sounds pretty scary right off the bat. It began with sightings of a man in, you guessed it, bunny ears, oddly yelling about trespassers and hurling a hatchet. The legend grew and eventually locals started to refer to the bridge as Bunnyman Bridge, a spot that he reportedly haunted years after his disappearance. This led to a cautionary tale told each Halloween. Now, it sounds like a fun urban legend, but the fact that there was a guy in the 70s who was actually throwing hatchets, who was actually dressed like a bunny, that's scary enough. No urban legend needed, no thank you. Though the real Bunnyman never harmed anyone, as the legend does suggest, the bizarre image of him with his hatchet and the rabbit ears remains a chilling, unforgettable ghost story that continues to haunt the area, keeping the curious and the brave away. Yeah, forget that bridge. I'm just gonna swim under or crawl around. We're not gonna go over that one. We're good, thanks. Number 7. Real fake prop. Elmer McCurdy, an infamous outlaw, embarked on an unusual journey after his death in 1911. His embalmed body turned into a sideshow attraction, touring funeral parlors and carnivals across Texas. Now, over time, his travels were hard to trace, but he eventually ended up as an unintended prop at the New Pike amusement park in Long Beach, California. Now, in a bizarre twist, his true nature was only realized in 1976, many years later, when a crew member from the $6 Million Man accidentally dislodged his arm, revealing that this prop was actually McCurdy's real body. Yeah. Whoops! By 1977, he was finally laid to rest, ending his long stint as an eerie spectacle. Poor guy, imagine finding a mummy right before you break for lunch. That's gotta kill your appetite. Number 6. The Green Man. Imagine walking alone at night, a quiet street, when you hear footsteps right behind you. That's the last thing you want to hear. So you turn around and you're startled by a man with an odd-shaped face. So you obviously run away in terror. This encounter leads you to share the tale of a man with no face across Pennsylvania. You're one of the many who saw this. This story is based on Ray Robinson, also known as Charlie No Face or the Green Man. He was born in 1910. Ray was severely disfigured at the age of 8 due to an electrical accident that left him without a face, more or less. Now, understanding the reactions that his appearance could evoke, Ray chose to walk at night along Route 351 in Beaver County. Now, despite his peaceful intentions, these nighttime sightings did contribute to local legends of a boogeyman, creating a myth that overshadowed his real, unfortunate story. Ray Robinson did pass away in 1985, but his legacy as both a local legend and a misunderstood man still endures. Yeah, maybe if we stop calling him the man with no face, he might be nicer. I don't know. Number 5. Window pane. Sounds like an Usher song, like window pane, he's like looking outside. The tale of the business executive who met an ironic fate is both chilling and cautionary. Gary Hoy, known for his peculiar habit of demonstrating the strength of his office windows, he would do so by hurling himself against them, just knocking into them one after another. And he tragically proved his point one time too many. During one such demonstration intended to impress onlookers, the window frame actually gave way under the force of one of these tests. This resulted in Hoy plummeting several stories to his untimely death, turning his unique quirk into a grim lesson in limits. I mean, after the first bump, I'd be like, hey, we get it. Maybe stop that. For sure stop that, right? Number 4, Alligators in New York. Now, when I say this one wasn't real, take it with a grain of salt. The urban legend of alligators thriving in city sewers has captivated imagination since the late 1920s. It sounds cool, right? It sounds like some Ninja Turtles plot point down there. Now, according to the lore, overwhelmed pet owners would flush baby alligators down toilets, which would of course lead these reptiles to grow to monstrous sizes in the murky depths below. Or at least that's what we thought. While mostly mythical, this tale does have some roots in reality. For instance, a baby alligator was once actually rescued from the sewers of Queens, New York, lending a sliver of truth to the stories of these sewer-dwelling gators lurking beneath busy city streets. It's not entirely false, but it has happened, so it is based off a true story, this urban legend. Number 3, Polybius. As a fan of video games, this next one here gives me the chills. It's like Tron gone wrong. The Polybius myth, emerging in the early 2000s, comes a tantalizing tale of a mysterious arcade game from the shadows of Portland, Oregon. Rumored to be a government experiment, this legendary game was said to induce intense psychoactive and addictive effects on players. I guess just like Fortnite, you know, they're doing that as well over there. According to the legend, government agents would secretly collect data from these public arcade machines, monitoring their effects on gamers. Now, despite no concrete evidence of this actually being a real thing, the intrigue surrounding Polybius has inspired the creation of replica arcade cabinets and several games bearing its name, breathing life into the legend. So it's hard to say if this one's true because the government does have a lot of shady operations. They're doing a lot of secret watching behind the scenes. So maybe they're watching you play Fortnite right now. Better win. Number 2, seeing doubles. This one is so creepy, I love it. Doppelgangers are certainly not a new concept by any means. To see somebody that looks identical to yourself, that happens to me 9 times a day living in Toronto. In Victorian London, stories of doppelgangers actually started to appear in the press. That's how real it got. The story was, a civil servant saw himself on the other side of Tavistock Square every evening on his walk home from work. Every night he would see the same guy that looked just like himself. So one night he tried to follow this double, but every time that he got close, this double would disappear around a corner. I don't know what's more jarring, chasing a double of yourself or having a guy chase you thinking that you're his double. Like, dude, I'm not you, leave me alone, please stop. I'm just trying to go to work, not you. While this may sound made up, urban legends of seeing another version of yourself are very common still to this day. Do you believe in doppelgangers or doubles? Have you seen yourself before? One time I thought I saw my grandma walking, but it was actually Nicolas Cage. So close. Same height and everything. Number 1, Sweeny Todd. My second favorite Sweeny of all time. If you haven't seen the movie, this is the perfect time of year to dive back into Fleet Street. Sweeny Todd is a gory musical with Johnny Depp, Helena Bonham Carter, and Alan Rickman. Amazing cast. It's also based on a true story, so that's terrifying. Good thing I can't grow facial hair. Legend holds it that Sweeny Todd would take out his clients mid-shave. Yeah, yikes. You wouldn't even finish the job too. Done. You look stupid now that you're gone. Hey, if your barber looks like Johnny Depp, you know he's gonna start singing or something uncomfortable. Get out of there, okay? The bodies were then passed to his accomplice, Mrs. Lovett, who would supposedly bake them into meat pies to later be sold to the unknowing public. Now, lucky for us, there's no concrete evidence confirming Todd's existence, but some historians suggest that he's purely fictional, but there are a few out there who do argue that he may have been inspired by real criminals of the era who would do similar crimes. If you can make any urban legend into a musical, you've done something right. Honestly, not that bad. Keep doing what you're doing. As long as we get musicals with Johnny Depp, can't complain. We're good. I'm Taylor McWaters. Thanks for joining us on Bumblebee. See you next time. Bye.